Department of State Services accuses Nnamdi Kanu of directly contributing to economic paralysis in Southeast region. Festus Keyamo urges aviation agencies to investigate incident involving Airpeace and Adams Oshiomhole. Nyesom Wike defends 39 billion naira spent in renovation of International Conference Center, Abuja. On the foreign scene, Israel's military says it continues to strike Iranian military targets after carrying out waves of strikes in Iran overnight. Good evening, this is news at 7 on Western Spring Television. I am Timitope Ajijolonwola. The Department of State Services told the Federal High Court in Abuja on Friday that the broadcasts by the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, directly contributed to economic paralysis in the Southeast region. The fourth prosecution witness, a TSS operative, codenamed Mr. DDD for security reasons, testified before Justice James Omotosho, led in evidence by the prosecution counsel Adegboyega Awomolo. Mr. DDD, in his testimony, said Kanu's broadcast incited the enforcement of IPOB's sit-at-home order through its militant wing, the Eastern Security Network. The witness also detailed how Kanu allegedly smuggled a radio transmitter into Nigeria, concealed within household items to evade detection. According to him, the transmitter, which was not declared to the Nigerian Customs Service, was hidden at the residence of one Benjamin Madubogo in Ihiala, Anambra State. Mr. DDD told the court that Kanu used the transmitter to incite violence and spread secessionist messages. A video recording showed Kanu inspecting the smuggled transmitter was also tendered and admitted despite initial objections by the defense team led by Onyechi Ikpeazu. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on Friday arraigned the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of SunTrust Bank Limited, Halima Bubar, and the Executive Director and Chief Compliance Officer, Innocent Mbago, before Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court, Abuja. The duo are standing trial on a 6-count charge bordering on money laundering to the tune of $12 million. According to the EFCC, in a statement on its official X account, the alleged offences involve facilitating large cash transactions outside regulated financial institutions in contravention of the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. Both defendants pleaded not guilty to all 6 charges when they were read to them. Following the plea, lead prosecution counsel Rotimi Oyedepo stated that the prosecution is ready to proceed with the trial and praised the court for an accelerated hearing of the case. On the other hand, defense counsel JJJ Usman urged the court to uphold existing bail applications. The arraignment marks a significant development in EFCC's efforts to clamp down on corporate financial misconduct involving top banking executives. The Defense Headquarters says the troops of Operation Hadinkai have apprehended terrorist logistics suppliers, collaborators, and a Chinese national claiming to be a miner in Borno and Yobe states. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Marcus Kangia, made this known while briefing newsmen on the operations of the armed forces on Friday in Abuja. Kangia said the Chinese was apprehended during well-coordinated operations conducted in Kokawa and Ngala local government areas of Borno. He said investigation was being carried out to unravel the motive of the suspect and his involvement in illegal activities. Kangia said scores of Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists comprising adult males and females as well as children surrendered between June 6 and June 11 as a result of heightened operational tempo. He said the troops had intensified operational tempo in all the theaters of operation to address the myriad of security challenges across the country. Police authorities, in partnership with other security agencies, have recorded major successes in their sustained efforts to crack down on violent crimes in the country. The latest in the rescue of abducted persons, the killing of suspected kidnappers, and the recovery of large caches of illegal firearms and ammunition in Delta and Katsina states. A statement by the Force Public Relations Officer, Olumiyiwa Adejobi, says in Katsina State, a major success was recorded on June 8, 2025, when a combined JTF comprising police operatives and other security agencies foiled a kidnap attempt along the Damusa Mara Dangeza village road in the Musa local government area. Adejobi said this was possible by engaging a group of armed bandits attempting to flee with kidnapped victims in a gun battle that led to the rescue of 11 victims. Meanwhile, in the South-South region, Delta State, to be specific, police authorities arrested one Abubakar Hassan, who is a key suspect in an interstate kidnapping syndicate operating within Delta, Rivers, Imo, and Enugu states. The Delta State Police Command has arrested 2 men who appeared in a viral video smoking what appeared to be marijuana while sitting on a police patrol van and making obscene gestures at law enforcement officers. The suspects, 34-year-old Patrick Assini and 20-year-old Tega Ojo, were picked up after the video surfaced on the social media platform X, sparking widespread public outrage and prompting swift police action. In the footage, one of the young men was seen sitting atop a police patrol van bearing the inscription Nigeria Police Force Anti-Crime Patrol Okara Division while smoking. The video, which appeared to be shot at a car wash, quickly attracted the attention of Delta State Police Public Relations Officer SP Bright Edafe, who later confirmed the suspect's arrest via his official X handle. Items recovered from the suspects include an army khaki uniform, green beret, a face mask, an axe, a cutlass, 6 smartphones, 4 laptops, weed grinders and Rizla, rolling papers, items commonly associated with marijuana consumption. Edafe, while reiterating the command's commitment to law and order, used the occasion to send a message about the relationship between the public and the police. Away from security, Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has ordered aviation agencies to investigate the incident involving Air Peace and former Edo State Governor, Senator Adams Oshomole, at the Murtala Mohammed Airport's domestic terminal on Wednesday. There was a drama on Wednesday morning at the Zulu terminal of the domestic airport when Oshomole, former national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, was accused of blocking entrance to the terminal after missing his flight. Air Peace accused Oshomole of preventing other passengers from boarding when he was told that his flight slated for 6:30 had departed. But Oshomole had denied the allegation, accusing Air Peace instead of extorting passengers by selling tickets to the highest bidders while preventing those who already bought tickets from flying. However, on Friday morning, Keyamo said he had directed the relevant aviation authorities to look into the matter, gather all available evidence towards resolving the issues. Human rights activist Ayo Logo has claimed that the presidency is not against a one-party state. Ologun, who made this claim on Friday while speaking on Western Spring Television's Morning Spring program, noted that though the president claims to not be interested in a one-party state, he has put in no safeguards in place to stop the raid of the faction to his party. In a similar vein, while discussing the state of Nigeria's democracy, a public affairs analyst, Lanre Fadausi, claims that the address by President Bola Tinubu, coupled with the spate of the factions, only point out that the Nigerian democracy is now the political class versus the people, regardless of political affiliations.
For them, it's about aggrandizement. For them, it is about the enlargement of their colonies and their estates. So for me, you don't judge a man by what he says. Don't tell me what you can do. Show me what you can do. Don't tell me what you will do. Do what you have to do. That is always the term. So you would not have expected Mr. President, as a politician that he is, a sweet talker like he is, to have said anything else or to have admitted that he is driven by the passion to turn Nigeria into one-party system. Of course, it will only be amount to foolishness for anybody to expect that Mr. President will admit such. But beyond what is being said, the question would be, just as you use, as your word, what is the body language? What are signs that says it does not want such? I'm happy Brother Father has made mention of something. That when you look at the character of these individuals, I think Bishop also said it, when you look at the character of most of the people that are jumping ship from one party to another, particularly from the opposition to the ruling party, go and look at their antecedents, go and look at their records, go and look at their integrity rates. You will discover that they are not jumping ship because of the good work that is traceable to the incumbent party. They are not joining the incumbent party to say, oh, we have seen improvement in security. Oh, economy has been turned around. Oh, Nigeria is now Eldorado. Nigerians are living beyond the poverty level. Nigerians are enjoying good health. So I want to go and be part of Mr. President to continue to deliver those deliverables to the people. They are jumping ship because many of them have corruption cases hanging on their neck, because many of them have projects that have been stopped, many of them have contracts that are very afraid will be terminated for themselves and their cronies.
Any Osun was not on that list. Because how can somebody write, my Lord Justice, where do I put your bride? I mean, that is talking against what some people represent in governance. And so when we don't see such people, some of us would want to know what is very old man now, Professor Niyi Osunrare, writing in his poems about Nigeria now, of today. When you start speaking such of, you discover that don't get the drift. No, what I'm saying is, some have a mass appeal. Some have still.
The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, on Friday defended the sum of 39 billion naira spent on the renovation of the International Conference Center, Abuja. The minister, who spoke at the commissioning of the newly constructed left-hand service carriageway, said everything in the conference center was changed except the blockwork. Wike said the 240 million naira was spent on building the conference center in 1991 during the military regime of former head of state Ibrahim Babangida. A lot has changed in the prices of commodities as the sum of 39 billion naira spent on the renovation of the conference center. On Tuesday, President Bola Tinubu inaugurated the refurbished International Conference Center Abuja, which the FCT minister renamed after him as the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center Abuja. Some members of the opposition, including former federal lawmaker Shehu Sani, subsequently faulted Wike's decision and argued that the conference center should have been renamed after Babangida and not Tinubu. Some people also believed that the money spent on the rehabilitation of the conference center was outrageous. On Friday, Wike said those criticizing the amount of money spent on the rehabilitation of the International Conference Center do not have good taste.
Don't say it's not correct, every day flag off. No. People are criticizing, oh, International Conference Center. You know, there are people naturally that don't have good taste. They don't have good taste. The only thing in that International Conference Center that was not changed is just the block work. Everything in that International Conference, Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, everything was changed. If you love this country, you cannot criticize. It's not about I wear only one shoe telling people lies. It's a lie. It's not about, oh, I carry my bag. No. Nigeria, as a giant of Africa, must not only show that they are giant, people must see what makes you to be giant of Africa. Nobody that loves this country will criticize that International Conference Center. There's one television, one media, I don't normally watch them. But somehow, my spiritual directive, I had to talk on. And I saw somebody, I don't know his name, normally I don't like to know people's name who don't have anything to offer. I said, oh, that they did not name the International Conference Center to somebody who built it. Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport was not built by Nnamdi Azikiwe. Moshood Abiola International Stadium was not built by Moshood Abiola. Oh, it was built with 240 million. Which year? 1991. What was the exchange rate in 1991? And compare the exchange rate. You see, people will just...
The immediate past Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, has declared her full support for President Bola Tinubu's second-term bid. According to a statement on Friday, signed by her spokesperson, Musa Abdulrahman, Kennedy Ohaneye said her support for the president is based on her conviction and his leadership, which she described as visionary, courageous, and focused on national transformation. The former minister noted that Tinubu had made significant strides despite the challenges inherited by his administration, citing progress in economic reforms, social welfare, and national security as indicators of his leadership's effectiveness. Kennedy Ohaneye also announced plans to relaunch a grassroots campaign organization, Naija Save Naija 2027, with a target to mobilize 10 million Nigerians ahead of the 2027 general elections. She said a 10 million strong target represents a collective voice of confidence in the president's leadership. Here in Osun State, following a judgment delivered today by the appeal court sitting in Akure, the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, Algon, in the state has described the ruling as a good precedent for the nation's judiciary. The details of the judgment are still being awaited. But while speaking during a news conference today, the Osun Algon chairman, who also doubles as the chairman of Ifelodun local government area, elected under the PDP, Honorable Sarafaddin Awutunde, expressed delight over the judgment, noting that it shows that indeed the judiciary is the last hope of the masses. He further insisted that the local government chairmen and councillors elected during the February 2022 election are in charge of their respective councils across the state. When asked to speak on the issue around the withholding of local government allocations in Osun State, Honorable Awutunde described it as anti-democratic, as he also expressed confidence that the elected chairmen and councillors will see to the smooth running of their local councils, noting that everything will take shape with the ruling delivered today. It should be recorded that Governor Ademola Adeleke had on February 23, 2025, directed the elected local government chairmen and councillors to steer clear of their councils, pending when all matters would be resolved to avoid violence across all the local government areas in Osun State. In Ondo State, the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria today commenced an indefinite strike, effectively grounding judicial activities across the state. Judges, lawyers, and litigants were denied access to court premises, bringing legal proceedings to a standstill. Ondo Osun Chairman Oluwafemi Afolabi said a 7-day ultimatum to the state government was given a week ago. According to him, the decision to paralyze activities in all courts across the 18 local government areas of the state was over the failure of the state government to implement parts of the Memorandum of Understanding granting financial autonomy to the state judiciary. You're watching News at 7 on Western Spring Television. Still to come. Lassa fever surging again across Nigeria, with NCDC confirming higher death rates and more infections despite ongoing public health interventions. We'll bring you more of this when we return. Stay with us.
Fumilayo Ransom Kuti was an educationist and advocate of women's rights. She was recognized for her vitriolic comments against